So just a quick introduction of myself. I'm Emma. I'm the CEO and founding partner of Longhash Ventures. So we are a blockchain-focused, Web3 focused accelerator and investor with a focus on bringing Asia network to Web3 startups. So for us, our thesis is really Web 3.0. We want to bet on a new breed of companies which are more synergistic, more secure, more efficient, that allows for true ownership, trust, and interaction. We also want to help projects that help with that transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. So just a little bit of background about ourselves. We're backed by some of the most active blockchain-focused VCs in Asia. So from Venture Capital, whom you're going to hear from later, from Roland Sun, and Hash Capital is also one of our seed fund investors, as well as one of the Singapore government entities called Enterprise Singapore. And over the last 2 years, we want to set up a venture building platform to help early stage Web3 startups. And we managed to accelerate 25 portfolio companies, help them to raise funds, more than 20 million VC funds. And we've also managed to build a very comprehensive network with a focus in Asia. So the team, so me and our COO are both from McKinsey before we quit our jobs and joined the Web3 revolution. Prior to McKinsey, I was spending a couple of years and with financial institutions across Singapore, Sydney, Hong Kong. So what really attracted us to this whole Web3 venture building journey is really the promise of a new breed of companies that are more synergistic and more open, that actually allows users to take back controls of their data and assets. So our strategy is actually to work with the Web3 critical infrastructure companies. So back in 2019, July, we partnered up with Polkadot to launch their first accelerator in Asia. And ever since then, we've worked with Zilliqa, Algorand, and most recently partnered up with Filecoin. That's where we're going to launch the Falcon Accelerator in February next year. We're advised by some of the most well-known investors in Asia. Dr. Xiao and Dr. Shen are both founding partners of Venture Capital. And for those of you who are more familiar with the Wanxiang blockchain and Wanxiang group, so Dr. Xiao is also the beacon behind the founding father of Wanxiang Blockchain Lab and also Wanxiang Blockchain Conference in Shanghai. So just to talk more about this Filecoin Frontier Accelerator, over a course of 12 weeks, we want to bring 3 things to the early stage startups. Firstly, we want to work with Falcon to bring more structured guidance when it comes to technical support, so that projects will get early feedbacks in terms of what kind of tools they can leverage off, where can they go for certain resource, just bounce off ideas on what they can build within a period of 12 weeks. And then the second thing we want to bring to the projects is really the go-to-market strategy. So with our strategical consulting background, we can work with the projects to refine their business pitch, introduce partners both within the crypto community and outside of the crypto community so that they are able to show some early tractions within the 12 weeks. And lastly, and most importantly, is we're able to bring a very comprehensive Asia-focused network, given we're backed by some of the most active and long-term investors in Web3. So we're gonna start the last leg of the 12 weeks is about intensive introduction to mentors, investors, culminate in a demo day. And traditionally we have demo day in both Singapore and Shanghai, but I think this time we're gonna have to do everything virtually, which would actually be good because it allows us to reach a much wider investor network. And of course, we want to use the accelerator to structure a lot of the stakeholders, investors that's already supporting the Falcon ecosystem. So I think Ryan is already a mentor. Polychain Teching is also a mentor. Xiaoling, who you're going to hear from Huobi Labs, is also going to be a mentor. So you're going to get a lot of structured support as you go through the 12 weeks acceleration program. And lastly, I want to provide a quick update in terms of the accelerator. So right now, we've closed the whole application process. We're going through the applications and going through interviews. So overall, we've received 162 applications coming from 11 countries, which is quite a coincidence because I think Gabriel also mentioned they've received applications from 11 countries. And over these 162 applications, we've seen emergence of four main categories. A lot of people were asking us, what type of projects and use cases are you guys seeing? So I thought this might be a good platform to share. So the first category is, file data storage use cases from real world use cases. And a few projects we've seen, they are either building open core source, and they want to put a lot of those data on Filecoin, IPFS. Second type of data is more healthcare data, which is quite sensitive, needs a lot of privacy, and the data size are quite big. The third type is agriculture satellite data. Which is also a very new and rapidly growing market. The fourth type we're seeing is decentralized video sharing. That one, I think we've seen a few projects that are building on that, and even in the current Tachyon cohort. And the second category is, of course, DeFi, right? So there's been quite a few projects, whether centralized or decentralized, they're building cross-chain bridges between Filecoin to Ethereum ecosystem, or building from between Filecoin to Polkadot ecosystem. The third type is more Web3 blockchain native applications. So we've seen very promising NFT projects with MOUs signed with major, publishing houses wanting to put the NFT metadata and relevant information on Filecoin ecosystem. And second type is social tokens, where they can put the identity information, KYC information on Filecoin. The third type, of course, is distributed identity, which would allow and enable a wide range of applications. And lastly, I think a lot of projects are really excited about filling the gaps for critical infrastructure and middleware layers. We've seen projects that want to build a smart contract layer on Filecoin, or occasion layer on Filecoin to make the whole storage retrieval experience a lot more smoother. And lastly, decentralized computing. And this is definitely not a comprehensive list. We're just trying to summarize a few key categories so that you can get a flavor of the type of projects and how vibrant the whole ecosystem is. And I hope that could give some of the builders in the audience inspiration in terms of what are the areas you can look deeper into. So we're extremely excited about this batch of projects, and we're going to kick it off in late January. So definitely, if any of the builders in the audience have new ideas, feel free to come and approach us, because I think this is only the beginning of our Filecoin venture building journey. We would love to provide support, even if it's not in the current batch, but potentially in future batches or other shape and form of support. And I just want to end my talk with some thoughts over the last week, because last week is the Singapore FinTech Festival. And over the duration of FinTech Festival, there's been a slew of news coming out from major financial institutions. There's the news from DBS, which is one of the largest retail bank for Southeast Asia. They are launching their digital asset exchanges next week to accredited investors and institutions. You also have the news coming out from Standard Chartered and ING about their news of their plan to launch a crypto custody service. So I think the theme is that mainstream adoption of digital asset is just around the corner. It is here, I would argue. But for a lot of those people, the narrative is still, can I gain access to Bitcoin, which is the digital gold? But I think as those people gain more exposure to the digital asset space, they're going to realize, hey, there's actually a whole new breed of companies, right? We can look into and gain exposure to and actually be part of the journey. And I think that's where Filecoin as a critical Web3 infrastructure component is going to come in really, really handy. I think kudos to Juan and Colin and the ZX and the bigger, wider Protocol Labs team, and keep building. And we're super confident, and we want to be the journey all the way. Thank you so much.